Hey, it's Spence, the evil genius.
Oh, yes, it is. Hey. All right, guys, it's Spence. It is Thursday, February 26th. It's been quite a week indeed, because this is the week that I think the tables have turned, and I don't know what to say other than things are never going to be the same. I was on the WP Tonic show this morning with some of my friends and colleagues, including Katie Keith and Mark and John and Kurt. And it seems like some of my colleagues are not as far along the road as seeing the things that we're talking about. So I'm going to just share one of the examples of how things have been remarkably changed. I have a client this morning who came to me who has a website domain, antiqueshop.com. Asked if I could build a solution for searching for like antique shops or vintage stores in any town they go to, which could act as like a sort of hybrid between a directory or something that, if you will, was kismet. Like if I'm going to go to a city and I want to find something to do, like look for vintage guitars. So jewelry, furniture, art and decoration, clothing, collectibles, musical instruments, and so forth. I could choose very specifically what I want to look at, or I can just say globally. I can put in the geographic radius, right, within 60647, 25 miles, search those shops. Fernando and I were able to build this with the minute launch system in under an hour on my first cup of coffee. And it has a full front end, back end. This is not vibe coding, folks. This is a WordPress solution with all of the things that you need, from a database, AI assisted geographic resolution, the ability to take money and subscriptions from the actual shops who want to advertise, and so on and so forth. And all of this is operating as quickly as I was able to talk to Fernando. So what he's done is he's found 15 shops within 25 miles. I gave him the option of giving me grid, list view, map view. When you go to map view, all of this crazy stuff was not programmed by me whatsoever. I even asked him to give me built-in directions so that if you're using this, it could go from where you're at to where you're going and make it super fun. There's the ability to also save and share, create a profile, favorites, go to the website. So all of the crazy stuff that would have taken me days, weeks, months to build, I did one cup of coffee. On the back end, it also created, per all of the things you show, I've seen you watching me do, created a custom dashboard. The dashboard has all of these capabilities for the settings, including automatically setting the display page, enabling the AI assists through an open router key, using, in this case, the free Gemini Flash, using a third-party API, which is called Overpass, that will bring in some of the other antique stuff. All of the settings, front and back end, ready to go, full directory capability, membership capable, 1 hour. I've got many other projects, including the ones that I've shown you. I have in my own setup in Minute Launch. I'm going to show you the research tool, which I'm using regularly, which is Minute Launch Research. This today has everything that I'm, finding, saving, sharing with front end or back end capabilities. So the use case is this. If I start researching some topic that's interesting to me, the new AI news, or on my mobile phone especially. Let's see, here's Wall Street Journal article. If I go to any particular article and it's public, I can either click the bookmark, which will save it directly, or I had it build for me a Chrome slide out, a Chrome extension, so that I can also capture it this way. When I capture it with a note, I can also add my own thoughts. I'm really interested in that article about tech and media. When I capture with the note, either way, it sends it to the back end where my tool is compiling it for me to use for the front or the back end for myself or my customers, for it to use for further research. But notice what happens. When you go to one of the items and you re-enrich it, it will go out and it will grab, in most cases, the actual thumbnail. It will, in most cases, grab the full synopsis and everything. In this case, this is a paid story, so it's not. Let's go to a free story. Let's go to Anthropic or something like that. Here's a page about Anthropic, right? If I save this to research, I don't have to do anything else, or I could use the Chrome bookmark. I can send this with my phone using a quick link, the thing share to. When I go to the dashboard, this brings it in. And again, we'll get the information that is necessary to re-enrich it. There might be a slight delay in this just because I'm using the free tier of the AI to get it. When it's all said and done, though, I have a library. Like here is from earlier today. I was in the car and I grabbed the information. It even gets the full article and gives me the ability to view as a library or display on the front. The voice notes feature and using the Minute Launch Claw has come a long way. I had a demo today with a nice potential client where I used my headset and I was talking here to Fernando or Fernando's cousin. And while I'm talking to the client, added him to the CRM, did all the tag magic, created content pages. The reason that this is so remarkable because it was actually functionally working perfectly. In other words, I got it to the point where we have the voice interface connected to all the tasks to both use the CRM, all of the publishing capabilities, all of the image creating capabilities, all of the research capabilities. So this means that everything and anything that I create or do a memo about is instantly usable, right? So imagine I've got my headset on, I'm walking around with my phone, doing my walk. I'm going to use my English male voice. Hey, Fernando, it's Spence. I'm going for a walk. I want to talk about my day, and I need you to take voice notes for me, okay? Okay, so today I had a bunch of calls that were talking about how to use the Minute Launch system, and I also worked on coding. I worked on the video instanter. I worked on the antique shop. I worked on the pickle draft. I worked on the slide out extensions for Chrome. I had a WP Tonic show appearance. I talked about 3 people. Let's make a list for tomorrow. For tomorrow, I've got the Friday show at 10 o'clock. I need to prepare the thumbnail in Canva. I need to go ahead and send out the notice in StreamYard. I actually have a presentation at 4:30 today for the North Shore Networking Group. Make a list for me and create a new contact in the CRM called Steve Johansson, steve@johansson.net. Phone number is 312-641-1111. And attach a note to Steve about everything I talked about, including a bullet list of the things that I'm going to do tomorrow, as well as what I did today. Take care of that for me. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but my brain works about that fast normally. Okay. I'm walking, I'm riding, I'm driving. I just need to talk to a dude who can report back to me that it's all under control. And so what I've got here is a dude who's doing this. Okay. Okay. So he created the profile, steve@johansson.net, gave me a full list of the stuff. Now let's actually ask him to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to turn my mic back on. Okay, that was awesome. By the way, it's not Joe Hansen. It's Johanssen, not Joe and Hansen is 2 words. Next, can you take everything I told you about and make me a checklist, a bullet list item with check boxes that I can use for tomorrow? Why don't you publish that to a page? Use the style that we've been talking about where it's dynamic. I can actually check the boxes just to show how you can publish. Make it a black background, do the bold white fonts, the orange highlights, and publish it to a Minute Launch Canvas page to demonstrate how you can use the same information in different ways. So I'm going to turn his mic off. So he has the capability of doing tasks in the background. Sometimes I'll ask him to do a task and I'll have him schedule it for tomorrow. Like I could say tomorrow morning, send out that email. That's the kind of claw, remember from OpenClaw, scheduling capability you're seeing in lots of outside LLMs, but I can actually have that inside of here in my WordPress site, along with the mobile capability today without any of the concerns of paying for other stuff or doing other stuff. So let's see what he did. He's given me a checklist page that he built. Here's what he built. He literally built a checklist page with check boxes for tomorrow. Now, I don't know about you, but that is impressive as hell to me. And the reason it's impressive to me is because what did I not do? Nothing. I did nothing. He did it all. Let's talk to him again. Okay, first of all, Fernando, you're doing an amazing job. I love you to death. Can you also demonstrate how you can save this as a voice note for future use? So one of the things that I built is he's got the capability of saving everything he works on, but he doesn't have to publish a page. He can save it privately as a voice note, or he can publish it elsewhere. So if we look at the voice note, it's saved in the same way, just in a different format and a different location, privately or otherwise. Either way, he can create images, build stuff. I mean, all the stuff. Now let's try the task capability. Fernando, I have a bunch of things I want to do for tomorrow. Now, I don't know if we tested this yet, but what I want you to do is to create a new project and a task list. The project should be called Things to Do for Friday. And inside of it, I want you to make a bunch of tasks that I don't want you to start until tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. I want you, number one, to draft the Friday email for the 10 o'clock show. Number two, I want you to make an image that's a thumbnail that has a picture of Spence riding a horse in the Old West. Number three, I want you to actually go out and find some images of Spencer Foreman from WP Launchify online and save them to the media library. Make that task list in a project so you can execute it tomorrow morning automatically. Okay, now I'm not 100% sure if I've given him this skill yet, but under the hood is the projects and the tasks, and he should understand this so that he will now initiate. You'll see a green thing, hopefully, that will be like rock and roll time. We'll see. I've been working on perfecting his ability to understand me. Okay, so that's, I'm going to stop for a second. It's interesting. This is where I have to improve his skills, but I know he has the skills because I can show you right here. He's got the projects and so forth. So what I have to do is just make him know what he's got available because he has tasks and projects. But this is actually the kind of stuff that's been fascinating to me because I'm using his cousin to code the plugin that allows him to have the skill set. And now I have one more thing to work on. All right, one last magic trick. I have so many things that I could otherwise share. Let's do one last thing. Let's just see if we can pull down the images I talked about. Do me a favor. Why don't you pull down a bunch of images from the internet about cowboys riding horses into the sunset? The reason that's relevant is that he has the ability to get any media he needs, create any media he needs. He can generate any content. He can use the Fathom transcripts. He can use the things that came from the previous check conversations with students. He can use stuff in the media library. He can use stuff that's in my email. Sorry, he's getting an error right now. So I'm going to just call that up to one of Spence's thing. But that magic trick has been seen before when we were in the front end chat. So it's not a remarkable tool. It's just one of the tools that's under the hood. I'll just have to accept that as when I demonstrate live. But you guys kind of know what happens with that. It's just using this tool here, which is the inside of the media library. Where is the media? Here's the media library. We can just essentially, oh, maybe that's why. It's not really his fault. I didn't turn on the feature in this site. That's the problem. Sorry. Well, I can't really hold him accountable for that one because I was dicking around and I turned off the plugin. So I'm sorry, Fernando. Let's see if I go back over here. I turned off the Minute Launch plugin manager while I was demonstrating how many plugins there were in the site. I'm glad I caught that before this video was over. So the reason he couldn't do it is because I had turned off the actual plugin. Okay, let's tell him I'm sorry. Fernando, I'm so sorry. The reason you couldn't do that is because I turned off the plugin, and that's also why you couldn't do the other thing. Can you actually go back to what I asked you to do before about creating the checklist page and the other tasks And then also, if you can, search for cowboy sunset images, not generate, but look for them on the internet and pull them down. You've got the minute launch media library P2P for that. Let's see if he pulls it off now. The slight delay in his working, notice I have it saying like running tools. I could have him speak to me and stuff, but usually what happens is if I give him a task, he sets up the task and seeing it saying still working, complex operation. I was having him talk to me, and I had him talk to me, and it was starting to get annoying because he'd be like, I'm still working. Hey man, I'm still like, he was just, it's kind of like when you're on the hold with customer support, like I'm still working on it. I'm like, okay, just let me know when you're done. I know it takes some time. It's going into space. So let's see if he pulls this off, because I asked him to do quite a bit here, right? I mean, this is a pretty complex operation. The one thing I'm not sure if he actually did, and we'll find out, is if he actually used the task for tomorrow. And I can cheat and look under the hood. Let's give him a benefit of that. Hold on. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud now. I don't know whether it would be helpful for me to have him continue to say more other than almost there, working on it. I mean, right now there's a series of like human type words, which is kind of cool, but the amount of stuff I'm asking him to do, he's still getting, no, let's see if I can fix this in the back end. So if I go over here to first of all, the media library, let's just see if this is connected, because I turned off a bunch of stuff and I'll take responsibility for that. Media hub. Okay, notice here we have image import. So I mean, this is just basic stuff. Cowboys riding into the sunset. This is the same tool he's using, so it's not like I know it's broken. I mean, it absolutely works fine. As far as the canvas working, that could be just because we interrupted him. So let's try again. Hey, Fernando, do me a favor. Try to make a new task. Fernando, stop. Fernando. Okay, make a new task. That is to say, a project with a task in it that you can set up to be triggered tomorrow morning at 7. I'm not sure if I've set you up for this yet, so see if you can do it. And if not, I'll show you how it works manually, because it does work. It's just, I'm programming him to be taking my voice, and yeah, he's still not getting it. All right, so here's what would happen. Normally it would be project, and it would be essentially create a new project. And then from there, he would create a task in the project. But I'm going to just call Uncle on this because I have to go to this live event. And I will give you guys more updates later. But quite frankly, like here, schedule tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. This stuff is all functional. It's just the voice commands are still tricky. 7 a.m. And I'd be like, create blog post for Friday's show. And then I would tell him what to do. Fernando, what I want you to do is I want you to create a blog post using our template and our normal syntax for Friday's office hours show. Pick the topic that's in the schedule and then publish it as a blog post, and then notify me you're done. Okay, so I give him what's there. I set up the scheduler. He would create all the agency and use the tools to make it happen. And you would see essentially what you see here, which is there's a queued task ready to go, task planned. He's create 2 subtasks, right? And he's assigning out the assets and the resources, just like OpenClaw would, scheduled to run at 2:26, which I guess is today. He's kind of screwed up on that. At 6 in the morning, I'd have to clear that up because I think he's set for a different time zone than we're rarely in. But you get the gist of it. All right, I'm going to call it Uncle on that just because I was excited to show you how far and how fast things have gone. and really how powerful it can be. So if you're looking to actually do stuff in WordPress, there is really nothing we cannot do now. And you don't have to be a developer, and it's not vibe coding. It's actually getting work done for real life customers who are happily paying thousands of dollars to just say, oh my God, I can finally have that thing today instead of, 6 months from now for $250,000. I'll see you in the next video.